Grant, what's your initial thoughts after that tonight?
Very tough result to take, obviously, for large parts of the first half. Well in the game, get ourselves back on top, because when you come to places like this, the last thing you want to do is lose the first goal, against a Falkirk side that try and go right after you, get the crowd behind you, behind them. But we've adapted after losing the first goal. We get ourselves two great goals, a wonder strike for Rory, and a good move, and Shuggy getting his cell on the score sheet. And it's key moments in games where you lose goals that can be, can change games. Goals change games a lot. Obviously we get the lift, and if we come in at half time 2-1 up, I know we've not, but it's just before half time. You need to be ruthless at the points, because obviously Falkirk's team talk changes after that, rather than being 2-1 down, coming in level. And I think we're still well in the game at 2 each. But that's been the story of the season so far. Key moments in games, to lose that goal, crossing into the box, and their striker just getting to it first, and that can be the difference at times. Obviously it goes 4 and 5, disappointing for us. Set play, and as I say, that's been the story of the season so far. Just that inconsistency, that level of trying to hit the levels. Dunfermline's the key point for me, the key game. That's the levels that we need to hit week in, week out, and we've not done that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's why we're a football club that hasn't got a manager in place.
At the end of the day as well, the 5 goals tonight, as you say, you were in it, but it was probably that second goal, the one just before half time, that was crucial to them. Yeah,
that gives them a massive lift, because you do frustrate Falkirk when you come here and you're able to pass the ball, because I thought we did pass the ball in large spells in the first half, creating goal scoring opportunities with a couple that we probably could have done better with, just that final ball, but as I say, when they get that second goal right before half time, it eases the pressure on them a wee bit, especially at home, in front of their home fans. And then obviously the game's on a knife edge at that point, and you really need to be, as I say, ruthless in both boxes, because we had the ball up at that end a couple of times, and even just before half time, Rory's unfortunate, the one that goes by the post. I think that put us 3-1 up, but that can be the difference in games of football, and it has been tonight. And as I say, that's been the story so far.
It has. Is that game there just emphasises the way the season's been so far?
Yeah, but I've spoke to the players in there and said, only they as a group of players can change that. Having the moments in games, that concentration levels, that key, that work rate, not to lose games of football and flip them round to wins, and consistency. And that is a bigger thing at any level of football, regardless of what league you're playing in. The more consistent you are, the better you're going to do.
I felt for the first 15-20 minutes they were certainly on top, but as you say, we get ourselves back into it with 2 cracking goals in the space of a minute, and then we're back in that winning position. But again, another time that... Yeah,
and we knew that. Falkirk are a team that at home, they come after you, they want to come after you, and they would have been instructed to do that. The week we've had, it's been an unsettling week. Obviously, a lot of the boys feeling under the weather and players missing out, and obviously the manager leaving, late in the week, with preparation for the game, obviously on Wednesday, and these things can be used, for the opposition to say go after them. They could be feeling sorry for themselves a wee bit. But credit to our boys that adapted to that, and as I say, we've got ourselves back on top in the game. In my eyes, you're on top when you go 2-1 up. Whether you've had, not as much possession of the opposition, we've had to work to get ourselves that ahead in the game, and you need to stay in the game at the points, and keep it 2-1 before you come in half time. As I say, individual errors, consistency levels, that's the story so far this season. And we have to change it. Individually, they have to change as players. As staff, we need to drive them and push them as far as we can.
As you say, it has been a tough week. We can't do this and not talk about losing Willie. So yes, it has been a tough week. It
has been a tough week. But on the flip side of that, it's been tough for myself as well. Wally was the one that brought me into the football club. I've enjoyed working at the football club, but at the end of the day, you enjoy it more when you're winning games of football. And we've not won enough games of football, and that is football. Managers come and go. Players have got to realise that their job is to win games of football.
It's the halfway point in the season now, so it's a time that they need to get it into their head and kick on, isn't it?
Yeah, they definitely do. They need to forget about the first half of the season. Understand that the first half's not good enough for a club. Of this stature, full time in League One. It's not good enough, and we need to accept that as staff, as players, and they need to come back. Obviously enjoy Christmas with their families. It'll be disappointing, because we wanted to go into Christmas with a win, away from home against Falkirk, you know, and really shorten that gap to them. And who knows, you know, go on that winning run, it needs to start again. And the players need to understand that, regardless of who's going to be in charge. The players are players. They need to understand that the levels have to improve.
It is Clyde at home next, so we all know how key home games are.
Yeah, and you get to this point in the season, every game is crucial. Every game you have to outwork the opposition, outplay them. You know, games of football are won and lost a lot in this league. Scoring early, scoring first, getting on top. You know, the game tonight's obviously different. Falkirk scored first, we got ourselves back in it. It looked like there was always going to be goals in this game. But that's when you, on the pitch, they need to say, you know, right, let's be switched on here. We don't lose goals at key moments. And that'll win you games. But also lose you games when you switch off and make the mistakes that we're making.
Clyde at home, you want to finish the year on a high.
We do. We want to give the fans something, you know, to forget about, you know, this half of the season, but obviously end it on a positive. Give them 3 points. Get the turn of the year, you know. January transfer window, regardless of whether a new manager's coming in or being here tonight or whatever, you know, we really need to build in it. And the only way we can do that is working hard together at this moment in time and picking up points.